Hi, I'm Mark Brace, Senior Analyst at Osprey Flight Solutions, bringing you this week's update. There's good news for once on COVID-19 in the past week, with apparently positive vaccine developments, as well as some parts of the world demonstrating their success in suppressing the pandemic, such as Australia opening up domestic flight routes and Hong Kong and Singapore forming a travel bubble. However, elsewhere, the picture remains predominantly grim, with restrictions once again being ratcheted up as case numbers reach new highs. In Europe, for example, Denmark has been added to many countries' quarantine or banned lists due to fears over a mutation of the coronavirus found in farmed mink being transmitted to humans. We continue to highlight fraud surrounding COVID-19 testing, most recently the arrest of a group selling fake negative test certificates to passengers at Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport. And we've also issued an alert on Nigeria's threat of tougher penalties after it's found that 2/3 of arriving passengers are not taking the mandatory PCR test on arrival. Moving on to conflict zone activity, and there was positive news as a ceasefire and peace settlement took effect on the 10th of November between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Russian peacekeepers began arriving the same day. Just a few hours before the announcement of the deal, the conflict looked like it could have gone in a different direction when a Russian military helicopter was misidentified and shot down in Armenian airspace by Azeri troops using manpads just over the border in Nakhichevan. A swift admission of guilt and an apology followed, and any further complications were avoided by the arrival of the peace deal. The agreement is holding, and we'll continue to review our assessment of the airspace risks as the situation improves. We are closely monitoring events in the north of Ethiopia, where in the past week government forces have launched a military offensive after the Tigray People's Liberation Front attacked a regional military headquarters, raising concerns over the control of heavy weaponry, including high-altitude surface-to-air missile systems. While the authorities have closed the airspace in the region and airports aren't operating, there is some evidence that TPLF has attempted to target Ethiopian combat jets using these systems, although this can't be independently verified and their ability to operate them effectively is unclear. We'll continue to monitor this very closely and issue alerts to Osprey users as the situation develops. In Israel, the military has reportedly deployed additional Iron Dome air defense systems in the south in anticipation of possible rocket attacks by Gaza-based militants, as today, the 12th of November, is the anniversary of an Israeli airstrike that killed a senior Palestinian Islamic Jihad official. The group apparently released a video on the 11th of November threatening such action. This could also impact flight routines in and out of Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion airports. Elsewhere, we've noticed a couple of concerning cases involving insiders at New York's JFK Airport, one where two former airport employees used their insider knowledge to facilitate a series of heists earlier in 2020, stealing $6 million worth of designer fashion goods. And earlier this week, a police officer was arrested for assisting a cocaine smuggling ring that sent couriers through the airport over an almost 5-year period. We'll be issuing alerts on these shortly. That's it until next week. Please stay informed by registering on LinkedIn and using Osprey Open.